It's been almost 2 years since I last made a video about my wish list for the YoloBox. Since then, they've actually made a ton of updates to the YoloBox software and also launched a new YoloBox Mini, and a lot of the features that I asked for exist now. Hi, I'm Aaron Parecki. In the last few firmware updates of the YoloBox, they added a bunch of features that I asked for in my 2021 video. There's now a better audio mixer to enable multiple audio sources, that way you can mix background music or audio from multiple cameras. They added a browser source so you can bring in graphics from tools that publish graphics as a web page. And they even added a remote guest feature that lets you use an iPhone as a wireless camera for your YoloBox. They also launched the YoloBox Mini. It has most of the same features of the YoloBox Pro, but it has only one HDMI port and one USB port. While they didn't quite add the remote features that I asked for in that video, you can stream from the YoloBox Mini to the Pro. So in this video, I want to talk about new features that I would still like to see them add to the YoloBox Pro and Mini in 2023. My top feature request by far is being able to automate the YoloBox with external devices. The way I would like to see them do this is to add OSC support. That way, anybody can use any tools that speak OSC to automate the YoloBox. I happen to use Companion in my studio to automate all sorts of things around here. I can switch camera angles on the ATEM, I can turn my lights on and off, I can change what shows up on the monitors around here, and I can even trigger my on-screen graphics and playback video clips. One of the main reasons I haven't made the YoloBox part of my permanent studio setup is that there is no way for me to integrate it into the automations. Right now on the YoloBox, you're forced to control everything through the touchscreen. And that's fine when I'm out traveling, but it'd be really nice to be able to integrate it with physical buttons using Companion like I do for the rest of my studio. Companion knows how to send OSC commands, so if the YoloBox added OSC support, I could write automations in Companion to create buttons on my Stream Deck to control the YoloBox. All they would have to do is to make a list of YoloBox functions that they want to expose via OSC commands. For example, switching between different camera angles, or turning audio sources on and off, turning on different graphics layers, and anything else you can do on the touchscreen. This would be so great not only as a way to automate it along with my existing tools, but even just for using the YoloBox by itself. One of my biggest frustrations with running a live stream on the YoloBox by itself is that it's actually really hard to do multiple things at the same time. Let's say, for example, I have a countdown timer running before the stream starts. Then I want to turn on my camera audio and switch my main camera right at the end of the timer. Well, those are on two different screens in the YoloBox, so I can't press everything all at once. I have to first turn on the audio just before the timer runs out, then switch back to the camera switching interface, and then tap on the camera. It's kind of awkward and it never works out quite the way I want. With OSC support, I would be able to create one button that would trigger both of these actions at the same time. And one thing to clarify about this, I would probably use this with a Stream Deck in my studio, but you could use it with any other hardware controller that can send OSC commands too. And I actually don't think it would be a good idea for YoloLiv to build special support for the Stream Deck itself. Instead, it's better to provide support for a protocol like OSC, that way they don't have to worry about the specific hardware like the Stream Deck. The next biggest feature they could add that would make it so much more useful is to add a new feature to the auto switching camera. Right now, the YoloBox has an auto switching feature where you can set up a timer for each camera angle and it'll stay on screen for that long and then it'll just switch cameras automatically on a loop. It also will randomize the order, which is nice. That way it doesn't look like it's just repeating the same pattern. But what would make it even cooler is if it could auto switch based on audio levels. So let's say you want to use it for a podcast where it could auto switch between whoever is talking. Now I actually do this right now with an ATEM Mini using the Mix Effect iPad app to do the auto switching. Mix Effect is set up with a video follows audio feature where it's listening to two different microphones, and based on which one is louder, it'll tell the ATEM to switch to a close-up of whoever's talking. I've been using this to film the House Files podcast with Lillian for the last couple of months, and it's been working great. It saves a ton of time not having to worry about editing because the edit is already done live. It would be amazing to be able to do this in the YoloBox as well. What it would need to do is be able to support configuring two different audio sources to listen to, and then choose which camera angle to switch to when that audio source is louder. Of course, you also need to switch back to a wide shot when nobody is talking or when both people are talking over each other. So that should be another option to add as well. Once video follows audio is set up, when you turn it on, it would start monitoring the audio sources and just switching cameras automatically. I think this would be super useful for anybody using the YoloBox to film a 2-person or 3-person podcast, either recorded or live. So those are the two big features I would love to see in an update to the YoloBox Pro. There's a couple of other minor things that would also be great that I do want to go over really quickly as well. One of my other annoyances when I'm using the YoloBox to do a live stream is that you have to create the live stream on YouTube from the YoloBox itself. In other words, I have to click on this plus, go schedule new live stream, and after it's created, Then I can go into YouTube Studio on my computer to add a custom thumbnail and description. I always forget to do it in this order, and it's also awkward even if I do remember. What I would love to be able to do instead is schedule a live stream like I normally do using my desktop computer on the website, and then see it in the YoloBox and be able to stream to that scheduled stream. I always put in a custom thumbnail and I write the description differently for each live stream, and you can't do either of those on the YoloBox itself. Plus, when I'm scheduling these streams, I usually don't even have the YoloBox with me at the time because I'm doing it from my computer at my desk. So really, I just need to be able to stream to an existing scheduled live stream from the YoloBox instead of having to create the live stream on the YoloBox itself. Another minor feature request is about the audio follows video feature. Right now, you can either enable multiple audio sources or you can turn on audio follows video, but not both. What's not possible right now that I would like to be able to do is I want to have my microphone in one of the cameras, let's say it's HDMI 1, and have that audio be always on the stream, even if I'm cutting between two different cameras. So that way I can show you a close-up shot from my handheld camera and then switch back to my main angle, all with audio from HDMI 1. However, if I then want to play back a video clip from an SD card, I actually want you to hear that SD card audio and then mute my microphone while it's playing, which is exactly what audio follows video would do. So really what I'm asking is to be able to turn on audio follows video on individual inputs rather than the whole thing. It's kind of a minor feature, but it's really important for producing high quality live streams. Another minor request is changing the way the browser overlay works. Right now, the dimensions of the window in the browser source are kind of small and arbitrary, and it makes it really hard to reuse graphics that I'm creating for other things. Ideally, the browser window that renders the web page would be 1920 by 1080, matching the size of the video. That way I can use the same graphics in OBS, which does run in 1920 by 1080, as well as use it in the YoloBox. So these are my biggest features that I would love to see in a future YoloBox update. If you're interested in my ideas for future YoloBox hardware, I'll leave a link to that video down below. Let me know in the comments what your biggest wishlist features are for the YoloBox. They do read the comments on my videos, so I'm sure they'll take your suggestions into consideration if you leave them in the comment box down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.